Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's the verdict, and we're following this all day until counting starts, until counting ends, and until we get the final announcement of who the next president will be, and of course, for the National Assembly elections as well. Now, in terms of going around the Federation, let's take our correspondent now, Pius Angbo. Pius is in Tarka local government area, that's in Benue State. Pius, how's it going?
Standing right here at One Central, where voting has just been concluded, and I have the leader of All Progressive Congress in Benue State, Senator George Akume, who is also a candidate in the senatorial election, to talk to us about the elections here. Good afternoon, sir. Can you talk to us about just what has happened here at your polling unit?
Well, I was here in line with the guidelines of the INEC, and accreditation was very, very quick. Voting was also very, very quickly conducted. The turnout was very impressive, and I would want to say that with the orderly conduct here, and if this is replicated in all the polling units in the state and throughout the country, then of course we would have finally got it right. Of course, there are a few hitches here and there, like failure of card reader, but not particularly here and in some locations. But I've been informed, and I am inclined to believe that corrections were made and some replacements were also made. And therefore want to commend the security agencies also for doing their best so far, and INEC for having this election rescheduled and conducting it today as they had promised. I want to say thank you to my supporters here. They turned out en masse, and this was what I observed on my way to the village here, that people were so enthusiastic and very happy to perform this civic responsibility.
Okay, before now there has been the fear of violence in Benue State, but we have seen that this conduct is peaceful. Are we taking this same peaceful conduct into the state elections, which is between your party and the incumbent governor?
I wouldn't predict what happens tomorrow. But even today, in Guma local government, which is the local government of the governor, some of his agents have been actively involved in army and using militia to beat up our supporters and to also snatch ballot papers. I think that is not the spirit of this game at all. Politics is a game with set rules, and everyone is expected to play according to the rules. From all indications, the PDP is not ready for this election, and it is clearly manifested in what is happening in some of the states or the local governments in Benue State. For instance, in Gwe East, some ballot box snatchers were arrested and handed over to the police. These are PDP agents doing this very useless job. And in Gwe West, we have had our vote buying. Again, as an opposition party, we don't even have money to do that. Those who are buying votes are not sure of victory. But those of us who have sufficiently prepared for the election have nothing to fear. And so we want to believe that with improvement by INEC on every subsequent election, we hope, supported by the security agencies, we are going to be okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that good talk. You've heard it. It's now back to you from Naka here.
Of course, we'll be expecting that Pius will be getting the other side of the argument there. Of course, the distinguished senator did make some allegations there, which Pius, we expect, will get us the other side, the reactions to those allegations. But while Pius heads off to get that, we also head off from Benue, which is in the north central, to Kano, which is in the northwest geopolitical zone. And there we're going to Nanchin, who has the update from the ancient city. Nanchin?
This is Dandali Women's Center polling unit, where the crowd here can tell you that people are actually actually coming out to cast their vote. They're excited about these polls, and the card readers though had a few issues, but the manual is working as so many people are being authenticated through the manual system rather than the card reader. Everything has been going on very smoothly. People are casting their vote. It is a peaceful, it's a serene environment here at Dandali Women Polling Unit here in Kano State. Nanchin Vincent reporting for Channels Television News.
All right, thank you very much, Nanchin. That's in Kano, from what looked like a very busy,
very busy,
very busy, so very busy, a very busy polling area there. And I understand we have some actualities there.
Yeah, I think they can show us a bit more.
Okay, yes, of those actualities.
Just as we're trying to make it out. Yes.
Sorting out of ballots, I guess, preparatory to counting.
Yeah.
I understand, I had been told earlier that we would be speaking, or we would be hearing from the APC national leader, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't know if that is possible at the moment.
Okay.
Is that possible? Okay, here we go.
That's it. So I think that's him doing
his civic responsibility, voting.
So far, so good. I demonstrated the resiliency of Nigeria. Like the president said in his broadcast, we have chosen one of the best way, but difficult way to select our leaders, our representative government, through democracy. It's not the easiest process to manage. It's not the easiest system to maintain. But with resilience and strong determination, we are getting there and we are making progress.
No. There are allegations that your party are planning to rig this election. For example, there are pictures online at the surface that bullion vans coming out of your premises.
Bullion vans. Are those ballot papers? Where am I voting now? Where am I voting?
Allegations are that those bullion vans carry money or ballot.
Excuse me. Is it my money or government money? I don't work for government. I'm not in agency of government. And let anybody come out to say I've taken any contract from the government of President Muhammad Buhari, APC, in the last 5 years. They should prove it. I'm on my own. And I'm committed to my party. So, even if I have money to spend in my premises, what's your headache? Excuse me. If I don't represent any agency of government and I have money to spend, if I have money, if I like, I give it to the people for free of charge. As long as not to buy votes. And you were talking about yesterday. So who are those watching my house and looking at bullion fans? They must be mischief makers.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, they are speaking to reporters after voting today. Reactions to the allegations that bullion vans were seen leaving his residence, and he did give a reply to that.
And I think we should leave it there.
I think it was just stop at that point. Yeah. Well, we've been joined in the studios here by, of course, the former Solicitor General of Lagos State, Mr. Fola Arthur Worry. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You've seen some of the videos we've shown.
I have.
And did you vote today?
No, not because I wasn't sure when
this appearance
would be. So
thank you so much
that's for the first
sacrifice.
time since 1979. So
Oh.
You're not voting.
Our gratitude for your.
No, it's a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. What have you made of the process so far?
Well, having been involved once as an electoral officer in 1983 and having taken part in elections over the years, I still think it could be much more convenient. It's still so much of a struggle, you know, and people have to queue, you have to wait for the, you know, it creates anxiety. They're doing their best, but I think we could just make it a bit less stressful for voters.
When you say they're doing their best, before you came on, we were talking about the fact that every 4-year cycle, we tend to meet the same issues, logistic issues and all of that.
Yes.
But you say they're doing their best.
That's the best they can do.
I mean, if you're feeling the same
if you said I should grade it on a 1 to 10, I'd give them 3.5. So when I say best, I say in terms of what they, you know, what they conceive. For instance, in terms of logistics, they hire the NU RTW, who 70% of whose vehicles are barely motorable. So we need a new thinking. I think this is a challenge for logistic companies that have the capacity and the management skills to do it. So we keep repeating the same old, you know, system. I don't see what is so difficult about moving what do you call the materials. We're not talking about moving a house like they do in America. This is just planning and people leaving on time and people being committed. I think sometimes you get the impression that because there's no real consequence.
When you say that bit of commitment, people being committed.
Yes.
Commitment to what?
To time, for instance. For instance, one of Nigeria's major system failures is our inability to be punctual to any event, and we always have an excuse. And I'll tell you that we had this. There was this event held by what's this American company? Gold. They're financial people, well known, world class, and came to Lagos to address a group of people on foreign. How do you get FDI? What are they? It's a competitive thing. Other countries want it too. And that one of the problems of Nigeria is that we never start things on time. People come from abroad for meetings at 9 o'clock, and then we turn up at 10:30, and so it was the traffic. Oh, there's always some reason. So I think that if you're dealing with a logistic challenge, you start with first principles, which means you determine by schedule when people leave. And then there's contingency, there's backup, and all of that. And I don't think we've ever done a real review of elections in terms of the logistic failures.
Oh, but there have been reports.
No, we're always
2015.
We concentrate more on the rigging, on the unfairness. We don't look at the management element. I think we don't pay enough attention to that management part. So I think, so when I say the best, I'm saying within the context of how they see it. But I think we need to bring in more private sector capability. We need to outsource more of the functions.
Outsourcing.
Sorry, I was going to ask you just quickly, with the 1 week postponement, I've been asking this, and I know Ladi said it's a bit early.
Yes.
Did you expect us to still be talking about this in spite of
Well, 1 week isn't that long because you've got to deal with the reversal process before you start moving. So it's not 1 week free to look. Let's look at Nigeria, for instance.
Okay, could we just look at some of the visuals that we have? These are still pictures that we have from some of our viewers sending in their experiences.
Yes, all looking very happy.
That looks like Pastor Igudalo Itwa. It looks like him, yes. And just people sending in the shots of everything that they've been through from the beginning of the day. We do encourage you to continue to do this. We have videos as well of live events at different polling centers. These people look really happy that I think they've concluded what they're doing there. Remember that the hashtag is #IVoted. We also have the regular hashtag the verdict. Do send in everything that you have, every experience that you've gone through out there. It helps us to have a more robust coverage. I think there are also some visuals about counting and sorting, which I think we should have on the screen very soon. There you go. Sorting is going. This is Adamawa State, and the sorting out of the votes is going on. I must say it's quite orderly. And let's go to our correspondent there, Lanre Lasisi, who is standing by there to give us a bit more perspective on what's going on there where he is. Lanre?
Okay, well, we are here at the Ajia 012 polling unit, where the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party cast his vote earlier in the day, and sorting is going on right now. They've completed sorting for the presidential ballot, but right now they're going through that of the House of Representatives. After that, they will do that of the Senate. According to them, just to be clear that there were no issues along the line. Maybe some people took some ballot that should be in the box of the presidency and the president and put it into other boxes. So when everything is sorted out and cleared, then they will start counting. But they've completed that of the presidential ballot. They're now on that of the House of Representatives. Will now go down to the Senate. After that, the counting will begin. And I can tell you there's a lot of excitement here to know what will go down here, which party will take the day here. The party agents are here. We have the press. We have some security presence. We have accredited observers all waiting in line just to see what will happen. And so we're here. We'll be giving you updates as the ballot comes down, as everything happens here. Sorting will still be going on for a while. I think the rate it's going, we might still be here for like 30-40 minutes before we start going into the counting proper. But right now, sorting is on.
Larry, keep at it. We saw you a bit earlier in the day as you were jostling, trying to get the interview. You were successful at doing that. So just stick with it and tell me everything that you have. Thank you, Larry. Let's come back to you, sir. I was talking about... Yes. Or perhaps you should finish your point. Sorry.
Ashiwaju said something today. He talked about the resilience.
That's right.
Yes, and I think that often that is taken advantage of. This belief that no matter how difficult it is, let's just get it done. Don't worry, you know, and all of that. I think that when you consider the size of Nigeria and the sheer inaccessibility, I mean, we're not the biggest country on the continent. Sudan is larger geographically, so is the DCR, so is South Africa. But the spread of communities, the sheer inaccessibility of certain places, or the difficulty of access, means that more effort. Look, if you've said that voting stops at 2, and you have an average of 500 people per per unit, then you've got to do the calculation. It means how many minutes per process of each voter. I was watching Atiku. I think it was Atiku, and it took him 6 minutes. That means 10 voters on average, an hour.
An hour, that's
so,
right.
So basically they haven't done the math. So I'm saying that while we have to concede that it's a difficult proposition because we don't have the kind of infrastructure, etc., I think that more efforts can be made in terms of the management of the process. I don't see why by 12 o'clock in some places nobody has shown up. Mm-hmm. What is the problem? When I was an electoral officer in 1983, I was in charge of 14 polling booths in I think it was Egbeda. And then it was purely rural. Now it's built up. And I remember that I woke up at 3 to get my team together to say that, look, we don't want any excuses. So we got there way ahead of the process. So I don't know. I watch the youth corpus, for instance, the way we even treat our staff. You know, youth corps use is a relatively recent thing, right. And it's not an easy job. It's sometimes it's threatening, you know. But did you see the conditions that under which they slept? I think it's appalling.
The INEC chairman said that it will be better.
We're always saying that. It will be, it will be. This is a planning issue. If you are going to call temporary staff, you buy them the camp beds. That's how it's done, the foldable beds. And each year, you don't have people lying on them. And then we're always late in paying the allowances. So what I'm saying is that, like I said, this is a management challenge. It isn't something that we say, oh, well, you know, there's this, it's because of that, it's because of this. If we want to, I assure you that if this voting exercise, right, had payment or commissions, right, as a reward for early, as a business proposition, I assure you all of these things. If I were the INEC body, I would consider hiring for the period of the election events managers in each state, because you know what happens if there's a wedding. Even if it's raining, it doesn't matter, they will arrive, because they know that's their business,
and
reputation, and they get paid, and if you fail, you don't get paid.
Yes.
So I'm saying that we tend to presume that, oh, once we've set down a set of regulations and we have an amount of money. No, there's more to it than that. That's why modern governments today outsource most of their business, especially the operational side. The admin side and the policy side is government. But the operational side, they tend to
outsource it.
Now,
we'll have to put you on break. We'll have to put you on break, Mr. Wari. We need to take a break. We'll be back after the break. And then, of course, we'll be joined by our guests in Abuja.